The blade pressed against Solène's throat, cold metal biting skin, when she realized the man saving her life was the same man sent to destroy it. Isaac Cole's hand wrapped around her attacker's wrist with brutal precision, snapping bone like kindling. Blood sprayed across her white Dior gown as he drove the assassin face first into marble. 3 seconds. That's all it took for him to neutralize a trained killer. His storm gray eyes met hers across the chaos of the Parisian gala. No warmth, no reassurance, just cold calculation. She didn't know it yet, but he'd been watching her for months, studying her, reporting her every move to the people who wanted her family destroyed, and somehow she was already falling for him. The champagne had been expensive. Dom Perignon 2008, served in crystal flutes to Paris's elite at the Musée Rodin charity auction. Solène Baptiste moved through the crowd like she'd been trained since childhood. Polished smile, perfect posture, speaking flawless French to diplomats and business magnates who pretended not to know her family fortune came from selling weapons to governments that used them on civilians. She was 28 and already exhausted by the performance. The waiter approached during the champagne toast, silver tray balanced on one hand. Solène noticed his grip first, too tight, knuckles white. Then his eyes, focused, predatory, raw. She was already turning when he moved, dropping the tray and pulling a concealed blade from his jacket. Her bodyguard Laurent was 3 steps away, reaching for his weapon too slowly, too late. The blade arced toward her exposed throat. Then Isaac was there. She hadn't even seen him move. One moment he was standing near the entrance in an understated black suit that strained across his shoulders. The next, he was between her and death, catching the attacker's wrist mid-strike. The snap of breaking bone echoed through sudden silence. Isaac twisted, brutal and efficient, driving the man down. The knife clattered across marble. Blood pooled beneath the assassin's face. 3 seconds, start to finish. Solène's heart hammered against her ribs as Isaac straightened, not even breathing hard. Dark skin, close-cropped hair, a body that screamed military precision. His eyes swept the room, threat assessment, exit routes, additional dangers, before landing on her. "Are you hurt?" His English was American, roughened by something that sounded like Southside Chicago. "I'm fine." Her voice came out steadier than she felt. "Who are you?" "Your new bodyguard." 2 a.m. at the Baptiste estate. 16 rooms of limestone and luxury in Paris's 16th arrondissement, the kind of wealth that whispered rather than shouted. Solène sat in her father's office, still wearing the blood-spattered Dior, while Edouard Baptiste fired Laurent with the casual cruelty of old money dismissing servants. "This is Isaac Cole," her father said, gesturing to the man who'd saved her life. "He comes highly recommended." "By whom?" "People who don't give recommendations lightly." Edward's tone suggested the conversation was over. "He'll be with you at all times." Solène studied Isaac in the better light. Mid-30s maybe, scars on his knuckles that spoke of violence. A stillness that seemed coiled, ready to explode into action. The way he held himself, spine straight, hands clasped behind his back, screamed military, but something darker. Special operations, black ops. The kind of soldier who did things governments denied existed. "I don't need a babysitter," she said in French, testing him. "I'm not here to babysit you, Miss Baptiste." His French was perfect working-class Parisian accent. "I'm here to keep you alive long enough to argue about it." Something flickered in his expression, amusement maybe, or irritation, before the mask returned. Solène found herself annoyed by how attractive he was, brutally, obviously handsome in a way that felt almost unfair, the kind of man who probably knew exactly the effect he had on women. "You'll start tomorrow," Edouard announced. "Laurent's things are already cleared out." Isaac nodded once. Professional, detached. His eyes tracked every movement in the room with mechanical precision. The way Solène shifted in her chair, Edouard's hand moving toward his phone, the shadow of the guard outside the door. He saw everything, felt nothing. At least, that's what Solène told herself. Morning came too early. Solène slipped out through her apartment's kitchen entrance at dawn, wearing saline sunglasses and a cashmere coat, heading to meet Julianne, her philosophy professor lover, who represented everything safe and boring and disconnected from her family's blood-soaked business. She made it exactly 2 blocks before Isaac materialized beside her, matching her stride. "You're not subtle," she snapped. "Neither is dying." His eyes scanned the street, doorways, rooftops, parked cars, always assessing, never still. At the cafe, Julian grew increasingly uncomfortable with Isaac standing 6 feet away, stone-faced and silent. The conversation died. The coffee went cold. Julian left early, kissing her cheek with obvious relief at escaping the bodyguard's cold scrutiny. On the walk back, Solène wheeled on Isaac. "Do you enjoy humiliating me?" "I enjoy you staying alive. Everything else is noise." His tone was flat, matter-of-fact, like her embarrassment, her anger, her entire emotional landscape was irrelevant to the tactical problem of keeping her breathing. It should have made her furious. Instead, she found herself wanting to crack that facade, to see what lived beneath all that cold control. That night, she found a dossier on her desk. Surveillance photos of Julian meeting with a Belgian arms dealer connected to the group that tried to kill her. Isaac's handwriting in the margins clean and precise. Not termination as in breaking up. Termination as in something far more permanent. Her hands shook, holding the file. What happened to him? Isaac stood in her doorway, backlit by the hallway. He made a choice. Choices have consequences. Did you? She couldn't finish the question. I did what was necessary to protect you. The answer told her everything and nothing. Solène should have been horrified, should have fired him immediately, called the police, something. Instead, she carefully filed the photos away and didn't ask for details. And she didn't hire another bodyguard. They developed a rhythm over the following weeks. Isaac was her shadow, always present, never intrusive. He didn't make small talk, didn't ask about her day. But he brought her coffee every morning from the Algerian cafe on Rue de la Roquette, prepared exactly the way she liked it. Double espresso, no sugar, slightly too hot. He anticipated her movements before she made them. When she had nightmares, legacy of feeling that blade against her throat, she woke at 3 a.m. to find him stationed outside her bedroom door, wide awake and alert, as if sleep was optional for him. Solène tested him deliberately. She wore increasingly provocative clothing to board meetings, backless dresses, sheer blouses, skirts with thigh-high slits. Isaac's expression never changed. His eyes never drifted below her face. But she noticed the infinitesimal tightening of his jaw, the way his hands would flex once before returning to their clasped position. She started narrating her thoughts just to provoke a reaction. I'm thinking of firing my finance director. He's embezzling, but subtly, moving funds through Cayman subsidiaries like he's clever. What do you think, Isaac? Should I destroy his career publicly or privately? Privately, no hesitation. Public scandals invite scrutiny. Your family can't afford scrutiny. He wasn't wrong. She made the call. The director disappeared from Paris society within 48 hours. Isaac understood her world with uncomfortable clarity. He saw through the gilded surface to the rot beneath, the blood money, the corruption, the casual evil disguised as business. And unlike everyone else in her life, he didn't pretend it was anything other than what it was. It should have made her defensive. Instead, it made her feel seen. Every Thursday evening, Solène climbed to the rooftop of Baptiste Industries headquarters and smoked a single cigarette while watching sunset paint the Seine gold. It was the only moment she allowed herself to be unguarded, to exist outside the performance of being Edouard Baptiste's daughter. Isaac followed her up one evening, maintaining his tactical distance. Do you ever relax? She asked, exhaling smoke. Relaxation is a luxury. And you don't believe in luxury? I believe in staying alive. She studied him. This man who lived in permanent vigilance, whose entire existence was calibrated around threat assessment. What did you do before this? Before me? For the first time, Isaac hesitated. Things I don't talk about. For whom? Countries that deny I exist. The honesty surprised her. Solène offered him the cigarette. He took it. Their fingers brushed for half a second, and she felt the calloused roughness of his hand, the barely perceptible tremor of restraint. He took one drag, then handed it back. She was absurdly aware that his lips had touched the same filter hers just did. You're not like the others, she said quietly. The others got you nearly killed. Isaac's jaw tightened. I won't. It sounded like a promise, or a threat, maybe both. The business trip to Nice was supposed to be routine. Edouard insisted Solène attend negotiations with Saudi defense contractors, using her as the civilized face of Baptiste Industries, the beautiful daughter who made weapons dealing look respectable. Isaac accompanied her on the private jet, of course. Turbulence hit over the Alps, not dangerous, but aggressive enough that Solène's knuckles went white, gripping the armrest. She'd never admitted her fear of flying, legacy of the helicopter crash that killed her mother when Solène was 7. Isaac noticed. He always noticed. Without a word, he moved from the seat across from her to the one beside her. His presence was enormous, solid, grounding in a way that made the shaking aircraft feel less threatening. "Look at me," he said, his voice lower than she'd ever heard it. She did. Those gray eyes held hers with an intensity that made everything else dissolve. "Breathe with me," he instructed. "In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4. It was a tactical breathing technique, the kind soldiers used under fire. But coming from him, in this moment, it felt unbearably intimate. She mirrored his breathing, their chests rising and falling in sync, and realized he was close enough that she could smell him. Gunmetal and cedar, and something darker, like smoke. The turbulence passed. Isaac didn't move away immediately. For 5 eternal seconds, they sat in each other's gravity, and Solène understood with absolute certainty that this man saw her more clearly than anyone ever had. Not the heiress, not the Baptiste daughter, just her, flawed and afraid and real. "Thank you," she whispered. Isaac's jaw tightened. He returned to his seat without another word, but the distance between them felt different now, charged with something neither of them could name. Solène started engineering reasons to need Isaac closer. Late-night document reviews that supposedly required his security clearance. Business dinners where she insisted he sit beside her instead of standing by the door. She told herself it was practical, strategic. It was a lie, and they both knew it. Isaac's discipline never wavered outwardly, but Solène caught him watching her when he thought she wasn't looking, not with lust, but with something more dangerous, fascination, like she was a puzzle he couldn't solve, a threat he couldn't neutralize. The tension built in small moments, a glance held too long across. A conference room. His hand steadying her elbow as she stepped from a car, fingers lingering a fraction of a second too long. The brush of his body against hers in a crowded restaurant, and the way he immediately stepped back, jaw locked, as if he'd shocked himself. Neither of them acknowledged it. But it was there, growing, inevitable. One night, returning from a gallery opening, Solène made a decision. In the car, she shifted closer to him, close enough that her thigh pressed against his. Isaac went rigid, every muscle locked. "Solène," her name was a warning. "Yes?" "Don't." "Don't what?" His hand gripped the door handle like it was the only thing keeping him tethered. "Don't test me. I'm not..." He cut himself off. "Not what?" "Made of stone." The admission hung between them, raw and honest. Solène felt her pulse spike, heat flooding through her. She'd spent weeks trying to crack his facade, and now, finally, she'd found the fault line. "Good," she whispered. "I don't want stone." The car pulled up to her building. Isaac exited first, opened her door with mechanical precision. But when she stepped out, their bodies were close enough that she had to tilt her head back to meet his eyes. "This can't happen," he said quietly. "Why not?" "Because I'm supposed to protect you, not..." "Not what?" His jaw worked. "Not want you the way I do." Before she could respond, he stepped back, creating distance. Professional, controlled. The moment shattered. But Solène had heard the truth in his voice, and now there was no going back. The Saudi negotiation went poorly. Solène refused to approve a contract that would arm a regime actively bombing civilians, a rare moment of conscience in the ruthless world of Baptiste Industries. The Saudis left furious. Edouard called her sentimental and naive. That night, the Côte d'Azur villa was hit. Not amateurs this time. A coordinated assault, 3-man team, military-grade equipment, silenced weapons. Isaac heard the breach before the alarms triggered, his instincts honed by years of black ops work. He moved on pure instinct, pulling Solène from her bed and dragging her through the dark mansion toward the panic room built into the wine cellar. Gunfire erupted behind them. Muzzle flashes strobed the hallway. Isaac returned fire with brutal efficiency, 2 shots, 2 bodies dropping, while shielding Solène with his own body. She felt the impact of a round hitting his vest, heard the grunt of pain he couldn't quite suppress. "Stay behind me," he growled, and his voice was transformed. No longer the detached professional, but something primal, lethal, utterly possessive. They made it to the panic room, a reinforced steel chamber disguised as a wine rack. Isaac shoved her inside, followed, sealed the door. The space was claustrophobic. 8 feet by 6 feet, concrete walls, a single emergency light casting everything in amber. Outside, the footsteps of the assault team echoed, searching, hunting. Solène was shaking. Adrenaline crash. Delayed shock. Isaac checked her for injuries with clinical precision, his hands moving over her body in a way that was purely tactical, but felt unbearably intimate. His touch lingered on her wrist, checking her pulse. Too fast, too erratic. "Look at me," he commanded, cupping her face with both hands. "You're safe. I won't let them touch you. Do you understand? I won't let anyone hurt you." It was the first time he'd touched her face. His palms were rough, scarred, and possibly gentle. "You're bleeding," she whispered, noticing blood seeping through his shirt. Vest caught it. "I'm fine." "You're not fine. You were shot protecting me. That's the job." "Fuck the job." The curse sounded absurd in her aristocratic accent, but she meant it with every fiber of her being. "You could have died out there." Isaac's expression hardened. "People die, Solène. That's what they do. That's what we do." It was the first time he'd used her first name. The intimacy of it, unearned, unexpected, cracked something open between them. Hours passed. The assault team methodically searched the villa above them. Solène and Isaac sat on opposite sides of the tiny space, knees nearly touching, breathing recycled air that grew staler by the hour. No food, no water, just waiting. Solène broke the silence first. "Do you ever feel anything? Or did they train it out of you?" Isaac didn't answer immediately. When he did, his voice was raw in a way she'd never heard. "I feel too much. That's the problem." "Then why do you act like you're made of stone?" "Because if I don't, people die. I hesitate, they die. I get distracted, they die. I make the wrong choice because I'm thinking about something other than the mission, and suddenly there's blood on my hands that shouldn't be there." He paused. "Feeling is a luxury I can't afford." "Is that what I am to you? A job you can't afford to feel anything about?" The silence stretched, heavy and suffocating. Then Isaac moved, not toward her, but shifting as if his body was actively fighting his discipline. "You're the most dangerous assignment I've ever had." "Because of the threats against me?" "Because of you." Solène's breath caught. "Isaac, don't." His voice was sharp, almost desperate. "Don't make this something it can't be." "What if I want to?" "Then you're not as smart as I thought you were." It was cruel, dismissive. But Solène saw past it, saw the way his hands were clenched into fists, the muscle jumping in his jaw, the absolute rigidity of his control threatening to shatter completely. "You don't get to decide what I want," she said, and slid across the small space until she was close enough to feel his heat. Isaac didn't move, didn't breathe. Every line of his body screamed danger, retreat, abort mission. Solène reached out slowly, giving him time to pull away. Her fingertips ghosted along his jaw. He flinched like she'd burned him. "Stop," he said, but it sounded like a plea rather than a command. "Make me." For one breathless moment, she thought he might close the distance between them and finally stop holding back. His eyes dropped to her mouth. His hand twitched toward her. Then his radio crackled. His backup team had arrived, neutralized the assault team. The door would unlock in 60 seconds. Isaac stood immediately, putting 3 feet of distance between them. His face returned to that neutral mask, the professional bodyguard, the weapon her father hired. But Solène had seen beneath it, had felt the tremor in his control. And now there was no going back. Back in Paris, Edouard was furious about the second attempt and the failed Saudi deal. He blamed Solène's morality for making her a target and demanded she approve the contract. When she refused, he threatened to revoke her operational authority in the company. Worse, he questioned Isaac's effectiveness. "Maybe you need different protection," Edouard said during a tense meeting in his office. "Someone less distracted." Solène's blood went cold. "Isaac saved my life, twice. And yet the attempts keep happening." Her father's smile was reptilian. Perhaps he's not as focused as he should be. Perhaps his attention is divided. The implication was clear. Edward suspected. That night, a second bodyguard appeared, a cold-eyed Russian named Dmitri, supposedly for redundancy. But Solène knew the truth. Dmitri was there to watch Isaac as much as protect her. The walls were closing in, and the thing between them, unnamed, unacknowledged, became a liability neither could afford. Isaac's professional distance became more pronounced. No more coffee from the Algerian cafe, no more moments of almost touching. He was a ghost again, present but unreachable. It was the right thing to do. It was killing her. Solène did something reckless. She followed Isaac home. He lived in a Spartan studio in Montmartre's 18th arrondissement. Bare walls, single bed, a duffel bag of clothes, no photos, no personal effects. The life of a ghost. She picked the lock, a skill from her misspent youth before boarding school civilized her. Inside, she found his laptop open on the small table, an operational security breach so uncharacteristic it screamed trap or desperation. What she discovered destroyed her. Encrypted files, mission briefs, communications with someone called Sentinel. The documents revealed Isaac wasn't randomly assigned as her bodyguard. He was planted by a joint British-French intelligence task force investigating Baptiste Industries' suspected role in arming non-state actors in sub-Saharan Africa, groups connected to genocide, child soldiers, mass atrocities. Isaac's mission parameters were clear. Get close to Solène Baptiste, gain her trust, determine if she's complicit in her family's most illegal operations. If not, flip her as an asset against her father. The assassination attempts were real threats, but they were also convenient for forcing proximity, dependency, trust. Everything, the coffee, the panic room, the confession, all of it could have been calculated. Tactical. Isaac walked in to find her holding printed copies of his betrayal, pages shaking in her hands. How much of it was real? Her voice was eerily calm. Isaac's face was unreadable, that professional mask locked in place. Solène, the coffee you bring me every morning, the way you breathe with me during turbulence, the panic room when you said you wouldn't let anyone hurt me, was that real? Or was that you playing your role? Was that Isaac the spy getting close to his target? It's not what you think. Then tell me what it is. Her voice rose. Tell me you weren't using me from the very beginning. Tell me this wasn't all just part of your mission. Silence. Tell me. She was screaming now, and she never screamed, never lost control. Isaac's discipline finally cracked. Yes, I was sent to surveil you. Yes, I was supposed to report on your involvement in your family's criminal operations. Yes, every fucking moment with you was supposed to be tactical, calculated, part of the mission. Supposed to be? But it's not anymore. The words ripped out of him like they'd been locked behind a dam. Somewhere between the first assassination attempt and tonight, it stopped being a mission and became... He cut himself off, jaw working. Became what? Something that's going to get us both killed. Solène confronted her father that night with what she'd discovered, not about Isaac, but about the arms deals. Edward didn't deny any of it. He was almost proud, like she'd finally asked the right question. This is the family business, ma chérie. Your grandfather armed the Mujahideen. Your mother, God rest her, facilitated deals with Gaddafi. I've simply expanded our portfolio, diversified our interests. We're arming people who commit genocide, Papa. Do you understand that? We're complicit in mass murder. We're making money. The killing happens regardless of whether we profit from it or not. Better it should benefit us than our competitors. It was the aristocratic sociopathy Solène had spent her entire life trying to rationalize, to soften in her mind. But hearing it spoken so baldly, she couldn't anymore. I want out. Edward smiled, cold, reptilian. You think you have a choice? You're a Baptiste. This company, this legacy, it's in your blood whether you like it or not. You'll run Baptiste Industries when I'm gone, and you'll make the same choices I did. Because at the end of the day, you love the money more than you love your conscience. You're wrong. Am I? Then walk away. Give up the apartment, the cars, the accounts, the protection. Go be a poor idealist and see how long you last. 6 months? A year? You'll come crawling back, begging for what you threw away." He paused, then delivered the killing blow. "And that bodyguard you're fucking, or wanna be. Fucking, you think he cares about you? He's a mercenary, Solène. He'd sell you for the right price. They all would." Solène returned to Isaac's apartment at dawn. He was packing. Mission compromised, extraction imminent, career in ruins. "Were you going to say goodbye?" she asked from the doorway. "I was trying to make it easier for both of us." "By running?" "By giving you distance from the fallout." He didn't look at her, just kept packing with mechanical efficiency. "When my handlers realize I didn't deliver you as an asset, and they will, they'll burn your family's entire operation. Arrests, asset seizures, Interpol warrants. Your father will go to prison. Probably you too, unless you cooperate with the investigation. And if I don't cooperate, then you're looking at 20 years in a French maximum security facility. Is that what you want? To go down with your father's ship because of some misguided sense of family loyalty?" "What I want," Solène said, stepping into the room and closing the door behind her, "is to know if any of it was real. One honest answer, Isaac. That's all I'm asking for." Isaac set down the duffel bag, turned to face her fully, and for the first time since she'd known him, his control utterly shattered. "The coffee was real. Every morning I went to that cafe because you mentioned once that you liked it, and I wanted to give you something that wasn't tainted by your family's money. The breathing exercises were real. I taught you a technique that kept me alive through 3 tours in places that don't officially exist, because I couldn't stand seeing you afraid. Every time I stood outside your door at 3 a.m. because you had nightmares, that was real. The panic room," his voice broke. "When I thought they might hurt you, I would have killed every last one of them with my bare hands if they'd gotten through that door. Does that answer your question? Why? Because somewhere between the surveillance reports and the tactical briefings, I stopped seeing you as a target and started seeing you as..." He stopped himself, jaw clenched. "Say it. As mine." The possessiveness should have terrified her, should have sent her running. Instead, it was the most honest thing anyone had ever said to her. Solène closed the distance between them in 3 steps. "So what do? We don't do anything. You cooperate with the investigation, you testify against your father, you get immunity, rebuild your life away from all this blood money, and I disappear. Because that's what people like me do when operations go sideways." "No." "Solène, I said no." Her hands fisted in his shirt, pulling him close enough that she could feel his heart hammering. "You don't get to decide this for me. You don't get to play hero and vanish into whatever black ops hole you crawled out of. If you're going down, I'm going with you. That's not how this works." "Then make it work differently. You're supposedly this brilliant tactician, so find a way we both survive this. Find a way we both get out." Isaac stared at her, this billionaire heiress who was choosing him over her empire, over her family, over everything she'd ever known, and something fundamental shifted in his chest. "There might be a way," he said slowly, "but you'd have to trust me completely, and you'd lose everything." Solène's laugh was bitter. "I already have." Isaac brokered an impossible deal. Solène would provide comprehensive testimony against Baptiste Industries, financial records, communication logs, client lists, everything. In exchange, full immunity and witness protection. But here was the twist that made his superiors balk. Isaac demanded inclusion in her protection detail, not as her handler, not as an intelligence asset, as her partner. It was unprecedented, against protocol. His commanders refused outright, so Isaac went rogue. He leaked classified information about the task force's own compromised operations, evidence that British and French intelligence had known about Baptiste Industries' arms deals for years and allowed them to continue because they provided leverage in geopolitical negotiations. Mutually assured destruction. If they burned Solène, he'd burn them. It worked, sort of. Solène got immunity, but she became radioactive in intelligence circles. No agency wanted her, no government trusted her. She was cut off from the Baptiste fortune. Edouard publicly disowned her, called her a traitor to their legacy and their name. Isaac was discharged without honors, blacklisted from every private security firm that mattered. They were both ghosts now, free, but untethered from everything that had defined them. 6 months later, they ended up in a remote cottage in the Scottish Highlands, far from Paris, far from the Mediterranean, far from anything resembling their old lives. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't the romance Solène had been raised to expect from fairy tales and expensive novels. It was two people learning how to exist without roles, without missions, without the structures that had always told them who to be. Solène learned to cook, badly. She burned water somehow, turned pasta into cement. Isaac ate everything without complaint, which she suspected was military training rather than actual appreciation. Isaac learned to sleep past dawn, to not check every window and door 3 times before bed, to exist in a space without calculating exit strategies and threat assessments. They argued about everything: politics, philosophy, whether to get a dog. Isaac said no, dogs were security risks. Solène said he was paranoid. The arguments were loud, passionate, real. No performance, no pretense. One night, during a storm that cut the power and left them huddled by the fireplace, Solène broke a comfortable silence. "Do you regret it? Burning your entire career for this?" Isaac considered the question with his characteristic seriousness, staring into the flames. "I spent 15 years following orders, killing people I was told needed killing, protecting interests I was told mattered. I was very good at it, but I was hollow inside, empty. And now? Now I'm arguing with you about whether we need a dog, in a cottage that leaks when it rains hard, eating dinner you somehow managed to burn despite it being a salad." He turned to look at her, and there was something in his eyes she'd never seen before. Peace. Actual peace. "No, I don't regret it. Not even a little bit? Ask me tomorrow. I might change my mind." She laughed, a real laugh, not the polished social performance she'd perfected at Parisian galas. "I miss the money sometimes, not the life, just not worrying about whether we can afford heating. We'll figure it out." How very optimistic of you. "I'm not optimistic. I'm tactical. There's a difference." Dawn broke cold and clear over the highlands. Solène woke to find Isaac already awake. Some habits died hard, standing at the window watching the moors stretch endlessly toward the horizon. She joined him, wrapping a blanket around both their shoulders. He didn't tense at her touch anymore. That was progress. "I've been thinking," she said. "Dangerous habit." "Shut up." She elbowed him gently. "I've been thinking about what we do next. We have skills, contacts, experience that most people don't have." "What are you proposing?" "We consult. White hat security. Help companies and NGOs protect against the kind of threats we used to be part of. Whistleblower protection, witness security programs. We know this world better than almost anyone alive." Isaac was quiet for a long moment, processing. Then, "That could work? It won't make us rich. I don't need rich." His arm came around her shoulders, pulling her closer. "I just need..." He stopped. "Need what?" He turned to face her fully, and his hand came up to cup her face the way he had in the panic room all those months ago. Except now there was no gunfire, no immediate threat, no mission parameters, just them. "This," he said simply. "I just need this." When he kissed her, it wasn't the explosion she'd always imagined their first kiss would be. It was deliberate, careful, restrained in the way only Isaac could be restrained, like he was making a promise and wanted to get every detail exactly right, because he knew the weight of broken promises. His lips were softer than she expected. His hands, rough and scarred from years of violence, cradled her face with impossible gentleness. When they pulled apart, Solène rested her forehead against his, breathing him in. "You're going to be terrible at running a business," she whispered, "and you're going to drive me insane with your perfectionism and your need to control everything." "Probably. Definitely. We might kill each other." "Wouldn't be the first time we tried." She laughed against his mouth and kissed him again, deeper this time. His arms came around her, holding her like she was something precious he'd finally allowed himself to keep. They stood there as sunrise painted the highland sky in shades of gold and pink, two people who'd fallen into each other's orbit through violence and deception, choosing every single day to stay. It wasn't the fairy tale Solène had been raised to expect. There was no fortune, no empire, no dynasty to inherit, but there was truth. Ugly, complicated, dangerous truth. And there was trust, earned through betrayal and rebuilt from ashes. And there was this man who had seen every dark corner of her world and chosen her anyway. This man who would burn everything down before letting the world touch her. For the first time in her life, that felt like more than enough. It felt like everything. The office wasn't much. A converted flat in Edinburgh's Old Town, 2 rooms and a shared bathroom down the hall. But the sign on the door read, Baptiste Cole Security Consulting, in simple black letters. And that meant something. They'd built it together. Solène handled client relations and strategy, using her multilingual skills and understanding of how the wealthy elite thought. Isaac ran operations and training, teaching people how to survive in a world that wanted to hurt them. Word spread slowly at first, then faster. Journalists who needed protection from governments they'd exposed, whistleblowers afraid of corporate retaliation, aid workers heading into conflict zones, people who needed someone who understood that the world was dangerous, but was worth protecting anyway. One evening, as they locked up the office, Solène's phone buzzed. A message from a blocked number. She stared at the screen for a long moment, felt nothing. No grief, no relief. Just a distant acknowledgement that a chapter had finally closed. "You okay?" Isaac asked, reading her expression. "Yeah," she slipped her phone away. "I am." They walked home through Edinburgh's winding streets as evening settled in, his hand finding hers naturally. Easy. Right. "I love you," she said suddenly. They'd never said it before, both too damaged, too careful with words that carried weight. Isaac stopped walking, turned to face her fully, those gray eyes searching hers with the same intensity they always had. "I know," he said finally. "I've known since the panic room, maybe before. And I love you too, even though you're bossy and stubborn and you still can't cook worth a damn. And you're paranoid and controlling and you check the locks 5 times before bed." 4 times. I've gotten better. She laughed, pulled him down for a kiss right there on the cobblestone street, not caring who saw. When they broke apart, Isaac's smile was small but real, the kind of smile she'd learned to treasure because he gave them so rarely. "Come on," he said, "let's go home." Home. Not a mansion in Paris, not a villa on the Côte d'Azur, a small flat with creaky radiators and neighbors who complained about noise. But it was theirs, built on truth instead of lies, on choice instead of obligation, on love that had survived betrayal and come out stronger on the other side. And that, Solène thought as they climbed the stairs to their flat, was worth more than all the Baptiste fortune combined.